Good morning. This is Nate. This is my Twitch and YouTube channel, Nate Flies, where I try and get better and more proficient at flying airliners and flight simulator. Today I am doing a big loop over South Korea and mostly testing the Laminar A330-300 because last stream it felt weird and I wanted to change some settings and see if it helps. So that's what we'll be up to today. I'll be ready in about 5-10 minutes. Enjoy some King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. Alright, hello again. Everybody, every nobody, somebody. This is, once again, Nate. This is Nate Flies. And I'm in XP12 today in the default LR A330. And today, we're going to get in this bad boy again. We're going to fly a big loop around SK. Hello, South Korean friends. I love your entertainment. And, well, we will be winging it today, because I just want to mainly fly this thing in its non-VNAV, LNAV modes. So, like Stu always says,
I'll just keep on winging it. There's always blue skies ahead. I'll just keep on winging it. Gotta keep it all up in the air. Put my chin up, fly high. I'll just keep on winging it. I gotta keep it all up in the air.
let's see if we can keep it all up in the air today. Alright, that was some King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. And, like I said, I'm Nate. I'm just some guy. I am a big hobbyist, enthusiast flight simmer. And I have been trying to get better in these big airliners. And I have just switched over to messing around with these Airbuses. I've done it before, but I have a new sim rig, and so I'm just testing everything out. The last stream I flew this thing, I did not like the way the G-loaded camera was responding, the kind of built-in one. And I messed around with the Headshake plugin, and I'll put like links and stuff like this if anyone wants to try this stuff out. But I just want to kind of see today how this thing feels when I am not using the G-loaded camera, because I find that it gives me a very weird sensation. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and we'll get going in 2 seconds here. I'll give you a quick little rundown of what we're up to today. So, wow. South Korea. Seoul. X-plane looking awesome. Take it in. Love it. So we are in X-plane. We are in South Korea. For anyone geographically unfamiliar, zoom out, give you the sense. Yep. South Korea, Seoul, right on the border. So we're gonna have to watch out. Our plan for today. So there's our big map. I'll show you our cool little path today. We will be, so interesting, South Korea is extremely limited by MOA, military operating areas. So check yourself here. I'm going to show you my favorite warning on a chart, one of my favorites. But yeah, so we are in Seoul Gimpo International, and all we're doing is we're going to take off and make this nice big loop and head south. And we're just going to fly over Jeju Island, right? And come back. We're staying out of all the military zones. So we're going to do some turns, and I'm not really going to be following this path too closely. I mean, I'm going to follow the path, but I'm not going to be on LNAV VNAV for a lot of this, because I might be doing like random descents and manual controls today, because I just trying to get a feel for the Headshake app and if I like the way it's feeling. So compared to the default one, which has just made it really hard for me to fly this aircraft, I've noticed. So anyway, without further ado, here we are back in our A330, which is the big Airbus. So I want to get started with this. So I've already done some stuff. I've set up some things in here. So like the point of the stream is I started getting into Flight Simulator during the pandemic when I missed traveling, and I've always had an interest in aviation, and so I just started getting more and more into this flight sim stuff, and it's been really fun. But as you can see, these are pretty damn complicated. There's hundreds of thousands of buttons. There's even more up here. There's laws of aerodynamics to consider, all kinds of difficult things. So what I did, like anyone else who wants to learn how to do anything, I went on YouTube and I started following some real life pilots who are into flight sim and started explaining this stuff. And so Blackbox711, who, if I'm quick on the stream today, it's because he's streaming later, and actually fortuitously in this aircraft than in a different one, so I'm super excited about his stream later. And I recommend anyone watching this, you should not be, and watch his stream when it turns on. I will tell you when that happens. And I'm extremely excited for his stream later. But great guy, awesome informational stuff about how to fly these things. So I started learning there, but as you can imagine, there's lots that can go wrong, and you don't even know what you're doing wrong. So I started recording my flights in OBS, and that ended up being really, really helpful to watch back. And so I figured, well, if I can combine my two favorite things at the moment, flight simulation and chatting with rando people about whatever flight simulation, then that sounds good to me. And also this forces me to talk out loud and explain kind of what I'm doing to myself, and then that helps me catch some of my errors. So that's what we're up to today. So I've already got the computers and stuff set up because that was a hassle last time, just because of I didn't have SimBrief integration and all this sort of stuff. But we're gonna get started now. And we're like pretty close to takeoff. I already loaded everything, and so I'm just gonna go quickly through my overhead panel. Let's ding the cabin just to say we did. I'm actually gonna turn these to bright because I think they look better on stream that way. I'm gonna need my probe and window heats on, and I think we're gonna go ahead and just start getting. I'm gonna throw our beacon on, let people know things are happening, and I'm gonna go ahead and start the APU. So here's our lovely, in the older livery, the Korean Air, Airbus A330-300. We can, we like looking up plane exhaust pipes, backsides. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. So we just flipped on the auxiliary power unit. We are currently on ground power. That's giving the plane all it needs, but there's an engine in here. Oh, I just drove right into us. Sucks air through here. The turbine engine. That's the heat you see coming out, not thrust. But anyway, that'll give us compressed air to run these engines and to have some electrical power so we can get rid of the ground power unit here. So that is that. I will say the only thing, this is totally immersion breaking for some of you. Yes, Korean Air does not have Rolls-Royce engines. They have Pratt Whitneys. So I didn't download the mod. There's a mod I can get for X-Plane that does this. But the important technical thing today is just to show you that in X-Camera today, and we'll have to do a little bit of messing around with the, so it's the SimCoders Headshake app is this guy here. So I've got Headshake on. I used to use this before the G-loaded camera came out, and I did like it. So it's got all these G-force effects. I'm gonna have to tweak these to see how it feels. But the regular G-loaded camera was just being very strange, I feel like, in this game. So, or in this add-on, the Laminar A330. So I got that, and then what I did in X-Camera was toggle control panel. I'll do it solid so you can see a little better if you care for these things. I disabled the G-loaded camera and all my internal views, and I just have the Headshake plugin going on. And so that's the idea for today, is that I am going to kind of, I think there shouldn't be any more G-loaded stuff. I mean, sure, the cabin can stay. Actually, why don't we do it? So that's how you do it. You can go Headshake. And so I can like disable the G-loaded camera on all my cabin views, for instance. And then if I wanted, I can go and do Headshake for all them. And we'll see kind of how that feels in the cabin. Because I will say, one of the big reasons I like X-Plane 12 better than Microsoft Flight Simulator is that it feels a little more like you're moving. And Microsoft feels very still to me. And it makes it difficult for me in all kinds of ways. So that's the situation today. So we're gonna try this Headshake and see how that goes today. So that's X Camera, an app I really like, and I may end up trying the there's another app that's come out for it too recently. But without further ado, let's get started here. I think there are still some doors open, so the cargo door is open. Let's go ahead and go to our flight, show the ground handling window. Let's go ahead and service will finish in 1 minute. So it's still doing stuff, so we'll let it do things. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead. Our APU is running. I can go down here in the eCam panel, press APU. So we can see it's available. It's running. Our probes are hot. So I can go ahead and turn the APU bleed air on. And technically, I can get rid of our ground power now. I'm curious to see if this will just... Curious if this cargo door will just close after it claims the service is over. Oh, okay. Getting the cabin again. And we'll get going. This is not a new aircraft to me, but all Airbuses are the same, right? But let's close the door. I mainly have been flying the Toliss A319, but I wouldn't mind having a larger Airbus to fly. And the reason we're in South Korea today is because they have nice short A330 routes, and it's beautiful here. Let's lock this. Use my flying around. Lock. Keep all the riffraff out. Also, I love South Korean movies and TV. And, so why not? Alright, so things are feeling good. I just want the ground services to finish up. Flight ground handling window. So keep saying this. I feel like I'm gonna say we're good because all our weights are good. Let me go ahead and cancel ground services. We'll see if that closes the cargo door. We can actually get rid of the jetway. Remove the chocks and dismiss the GPU. Very nice. Doors closed. Alright, we're doing it. Get our pushback truck. And let's push back here, I assume. Yep.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
I showed you our flight plan. If I go to our plan here and go to the flight plan page here, if I were to step through, you can see kind of what we're up to today. Just a nice loop around South Korea. With a little jog in there. And again, this is going to be a little non-standard because I didn't put my arrival in. I thought I had it. So you can see how to put an arrival in. So there, we're ending at Bumsey. And our arrival today is going to be the, we're going to come back to the ILS 32 right. And it is the Cookty 52 Bumsey. Here we go. Temporary. Tells us some steep descent stuff. We know. So there's the rest of our flight plan. So everything's looking good. And then what I did for performance is I ran a calculator, and I need to talk to a A330 expert about the flap setting. So I know I'm in, my CG is lined up here. It just feels, I mean, I'm in the green band, so we're good. But we're ready to rock here. I've already done sort of all my other checklists, so let's go ahead and start the pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Yeah, I'm excited to kind of fly this thing around with the Headshake app to just see, or plug-in. I call everything one of those. Go to ARC over here. I like Copilot to be nav. Okay. Close up for us. Been doing our quick little scan of everything. Fluids looking good.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
And it's a beautiful morning here in Korea. I really do love this. It's a shame. I love this Korean Air livery, but they changed it to a more modern look. I mean, I guess it's a little dated looking, but I really like this. I love their logo. And so they kind of changed it up. It's very plain now. That's okay. So there's still a few A330s that are painted this way.
So
this
connected
will be one of them.
and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, before we release the brake, we're going to go ahead and do a quick for start checklist. So our windows and doors are all closed and locked. The APU is on. APU bleed air is on. We have already set up the MCDU. Here's our flight plan. Here's our takeoff performance. If we were on VATSIM, we'd do our squawk. I can go ahead and at least just, it is on standby. Set it to above. Go on. But otherwise we'd be doing some radio stuff. VATSIM. But we're just doing, like I said, this is kind of a test flight just so I can get a better feel for this aircraft, because it just feels so strange when I was hand flying it the other day. All right, external power is all off, and let's go ahead and let's give this bad boy some fuel. All right, fuel pumps are on, seatbelt signs are on, thrust levers are idle, fuel quantity was checked. We should have plenty of fuel. I gave us extra. Yep. And takeoff data is all set. We're going to fly up to 5,000. So I'll show you our, we'll do our little briefing. So we're going to push back onto the apron. We will take Papa 1 Alpha and 32 right. I got to stop saying that. And we will be taking off. And we just need to be above 2,000 by Quebec Delta 040. And I'm going to just sort of hand fly this whole thing. And I'm going to be doing some wobbling around and might do a sudden turnaround just because I'm trying to get a feel for what this thing is up to. But otherwise, we're gonna maintain these restrictions. Luckily, once we get over about 4,000 feet, we'll be all good. And then we're continuing on our way down to Bolte. And here again is my favorite. I told you I don't want to tease. This is the coolest thing on a chart. The warning: RKP, Romeo Kilo, Republic of Korea, Papa-73. If an aircraft is seen flying toward this zone, here's the river. Here's North Korea up there. But here's downtown Seoul. So if you fly over downtown Seoul without proper clearance, a tracer warning shot will be fired. If the aircraft continues into the zone, it will be shot down without further warning. An exception to this will be civilian aircraft, which has been identified as friendly. So, you know, the stakes are huge here. Don't turn right and don't fly over Seoul. But that's our briefing. That's what we want. That's our special threat today is getting shot down. Or worse, flying too far north. All right, so this asshole buttoned up. Our transponder is on, beacon is on, and we're ready to start. So let's go ahead and get rid of the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Engine start. So we're going to go down here. Let's pull up our engine page. Go to ignition start. And we checked for pressure and that our oil temperature is alright. And now we can go ahead and fire up engine 2 to start. Enjoy some sights and sounds of flight simulation. Alright, there's an engine. You can see these Rolls Royce are have an actual N3. There we go, engine is available. So let's go ahead and fire up engine 1.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Rolls Royce, we are some fancy boys today. Alright, parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, we're gonna imagine we got hydraulic clearance. Engine mode selector to norm. Let's arm the speed brake. We're doing the flaps 1 takeoff. Go up top. We're going to get rid of the... Yep. Alright, we're going to tell him we're all good. Thank you, dude. The APU bleed can come off, and the APU can come off. Let's go ahead and turn our runway turn-off lights on. Let's set our taxi light, and that looks good up here. Pinging the cabin. Let's check our
So
flight
is disconnected
controls.
and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Alright, thanks, dude. Here's another thing I noticed in this aircraft. The aileron is not quite on its... And I saw it fix itself the other day. Anyway, I think that's just... I don't see any aileron... or elevator. But no, it's the ailerons. Okay. So flight controls are all checked. Rudders are working. Left, right, neutral. All right, cool. Let's do our after start checklist. All right, so parking brake is on. Engine mode selector norm. Engaged parking brake max. APU is off. Flight controls have been checked. The spoilers are armed. The flaps are set to their takeoff. Pitch trim is set. Rudder trim is... Anti-ice looks okay outside today. We got some clouds, but it's warm. So we should be okay. And that's all good. Alright, after start checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and taxi. So we said our taxi is going to be... Just we'll go shoot over to Papa. And take off config. Alright, we're good. Alright, you guys ready? Let's start taxiing. Get rid of the parking brake. Ooh. Brake working. Like I said, usually the Airbus that I practice on the most is the A319, which I really like. It's a fun little guy. This thing is much bigger and heavier. And I'm kind of messing around with this because I'd like in X-Plane. I really love X-Plane. Like I said, my favorite sim, blah, blah, blah. But I don't have a big Airbus in there. And I really would like this to do it for me. But my biggest thing, and I mean, I could technically show you it at some point, but the G-loaded camera in this thing is a bit funky feeling. And it makes it feel like sometimes when you do like an input in the plane that it is moving or your head moves or something, but the aircraft doesn't. Oh, hey Santa, what's up, man? Oh, you came right in time. We are taking off. And I'm in this big boy today. Airbus A330. This is the default one, by the way, in X-Plane. So you've got this one. And then the reason I'm kind of messing about with this today is I flew it the other day and I really didn't like how it felt. And it's because of the G-loaded camera in X-Plane, which works good on the other add-ons, but for some reason on this one, it just, I don't know. It makes the flying feel very awkward. especially for a non-VR guy like me. So I am using instead, but the whole thing is with X-Plane, the reason I like it so much more than Microsoft Flight Simulator is because it actually feels like something. And so I don't want to have just nothing. So instead, there is a plugin by these guys, Sim Coders, and it's free, and it's the Headshake plugin. And I can show it to you real quick. I use X Camera, and you can enable it in X Camera, but here's the actual settings for it. And so I might be tweaking with some of this today to see how my head feels and what it's like flying. So I will be doing a little more hand flying today. This is for you, buddy. No autopilot, although I will be using autopilot. Got Delta. We got some Dutch people here. Look at that. What's that? That's that looks like the Lufty bird. Okay. Lights. Strobes. I mean, I'm going to use some autopilot because I am also testing this autopilot in here. So the one big thing, dude, if
approaching 3, 2, right.
Ras Lady, that's my girlfriend, by the way. Don't say anything bad about Ras Lady. Don't tell my wife about her either. She's a self-destruct voice from Alien too.
On runway 3, 2, right.
Great. All right, let's line up. Kind of a janky lineup here. All right, let's come to a stop. Let's get our head in the game here. Santa, you know, I'm all about checklist, FAA. Yeah, I love the, you know, I'm all about the, I love all the sounds in Flight Sim. So, anytime I can add stuff. The only thing, I actually do like the radio chatter stuff and all that, but I don't have it in now. Okay, TARA, weather radar is on even though it doesn't work. Let's get terrain. Yeah. Yeah, well, my, you know, my intro song to the stream is, I'll just keep on winging it. That's the lyrics to the song. But, again, because I'm very professional and, just by the way, since he's, I think, just went live. That's why I'm upset. My day to Flight Sim is also the day my...
On runway
Sorry,
3,
Santa,
2,
my
right.
favorite
On
Flight Sim
runway
channel
3,
is not
2,
yours.
right.
It's Black Box 711, but he's live right now. And so I definitely, you know, will stay with me for a little bit, but we'll be going over to him at some point soon. But he's going to be flying one of the big versions. But what I was going to say, this add-on, the default, the reason I'm kind of testing some of the autopilot stuff too is because these can be known to maybe not have the best autopilot, like the default stuff, and so we'll just see. But mainly, I'm just trying to get it so that it doesn't feel so weird to me. The G-loaded camera just feels so funky that I don't know. So, all right, we taxied. I turned the nose light to take off. Runway turn off lights. Yeah, let's say they're required. Our strobes are on, and takeoff config is normal. So I think that actually means before takeoff, cabin crew is advised. Brake temps are okay. Brake fans are off. Engine mode selector is normal. Packs we're going to keep on because we like air conditioning. Weather radar as required. Predictive wind shear is set to auto. TCAS is TARA, and the lights are how we want them. So here we go. All right, big boy time. You ready? I'm ready. Parking brake is off. Cool up our engines to about 40%. 40%. Alright. Fan flex 53 SRS runway auto thrust blue. My view is a little too high also. I'm more like this. Alright, 100 knots, we passed a minute ago. Here's V1, rotate. Oh yeah, look at this thing. Alright, positive ready to climb, gear up, nav. Oh, a little weird still. Pitch down here. Pitch down, pitch down, pitch down. More aggressively, more aggressively. Let's accelerate. Bye bye, Seoul. We'll see you soon. Cool. Tries or not. Who doesn't want thrust climb yet? Alright, approaching S speed. We'll hang out here for a sec. Still flaps one. Why is this acceleration now? I'm curious why we're not getting it. So usually it should tell us to go into climb, thrust climb mode here. Not. Alright, I'm going flaps up, and this is weird. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull back to lever climb, thrust climb, speed, alt star. Make our turn here, level off. Alt. Pitch down, pitch down, 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 nice and level. Oh yeah, look at this. Pro pilot. Looks like I'm way off course. There, who's next? Nice. So what I'm doing here is I just want to roll the aircraft a little bit. See if it feels like actually doing the thing. Alright, let's get out of this cloud. Okay, I'll show you some of the how to get some of the basics going. Alright, we are flying. Sort of get back on a course here. And then get out of some clouds. Alright, I should do some after takeoff stuff. So ground spoilers come in, flaps are up. Lights off, off. Okay. Okay, so what I was talking about. So this has this level head mode on the Headshake app. When I bank my head stays level. Which, do I like that or not? Sure. Let's take a look at Korea. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's almost like I get the sense. Do anything? Like, I don't ever feel like when I do this input that anything is changing. Like, it feels like it could just be big. That could be it. Ooh, buddy. Oh, did you get that Aura X thing? So Aura X is, I've seen it and I'm thinking about it to see what it's like. But I do really like X camera, which is what I'm using now. And I'll tell you what, man, I hate setting up stuff in the Sims. It's just the I can't stand doing all this stuff. And I know this, it feels comfortable enough for me, so I'm going with it. I mean, maybe this thing just is... Maybe that's just how this thing flies. Let's keep climbing. Let's go up to, get over these clouds. Let's go to 12,000. Alright, so I am just gonna pull full speed. We want to stay at 250. I'm gonna pull heading. Go autopilot. Go pull open climb. Why are you descending? Why are you descending? Why are you speeding up like that? So it shouldn't do this. So this is what I was talking about. This is not the correct behavior. Come on, speed. Speed. So now we're over speeding. So for some reason right now, even though we are in climb, man, what is going on? Why are you speeding up? So this is almost positive not a me problem. That it just goes full speed. Sorry about that. What's wrong with you, aircraft? See what happens if I just start slowing it down. Brakes. Yeah, so that was the autopilot kicking off. Whoa. Are you gonna try and get back down there now? We are in thrust climb, but it really shouldn't. Open climb. Okay, so you use the head tracking stuff. Alright, well there it goes. I'll have to see. Maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not totally sure why it took off on me like that. Unless I wasn't, I thought I was in open flying when I pulled. I guess that's a lesson for me to read off my PFD. Yeah, and also, I mean, the VR looks so much fun. In when I was watching, you know, watching your DCS stuff. All right, speed alt. I don't know. Do I like this head tilting situation? Go with. Let's say I don't. If I go head sim shake, head coders, enable level head effect. See what that does. Yeah, man. I mean, look, the seriousness with which I am flying right now is... It's just... But this feels better than when the response is a little less. Ah, okay, yeah, 100% response. So let's go, I don't mind that little bit. Yeah, don't call it wind control, you get sued. By who, I don't know. Alright. Let's see if this feels a little... Let's do some waggle. Let's do some waggling. And also, I want to, like, you know, look at South Korea a little bit today. One of my brother-in-laws is stationed out here for quite some time. Back in the States now. And then my other brother is in Japan. Okay, I think so far this feels a little better than the G-loaded camera. Oh man, X-Plane looks so good sometimes. Probably not captured on my my stream quality and whatnot, but the atmospherics in X-Plane look good. Oh, so by the way, Santa, I was watching... So I had some people over during the World Cup and stuff, but I busted your stream out on my phone for a little bit. And, yeah, the, you know, when you get too close to the ground, the textures are gonna get a little wonky. No, I was secretly watching you on my phone, don't I? I can't let people know that, no, people see my sim setup, so they know some weirdness is going on here. What the hell was I just talking about? Wing. Oh, so when you're... One thing you can do in, that might be something worth thinking about for you is in the... Where is that thing? Oh, hey, Gog Poo, what's up, man? We are doing more testing kind of stuff today. While I'm flying at, you know, low altitude. Like, this is not very professional. But I'm trying to get a feel for the A330 in X-Plane. Oh, nice. I'm on autopilot right now. And it did screw us up. So yeah, I was looking at some flights from Manila. Because Korean Air does flights. They're like the one operator that does some shorter flights. I would be. Well, you know, this is the view I want. Not that. There we go. Okay, so I want to just try it. Right now I'm trying it just... This is full default. The only thing is I got the Korean Air livery because it's beautiful. And this is not real because it has Rolls-Royce engines on it. So Santa, I know this is going to totally blow your immersion. But Korean Air doesn't use Rolls-Royce. And I have them here, so this is all fake. This is totally make-believe today. But Gog, what I was telling Santa is when I have something about this aircraft, when I have just the G-loaded camera on, when I just have the G-loaded camera on in this aircraft, whenever I give it a roll input, it just feels so weird. Like either I'm not moving or the plane isn't moving. And so when I come into land and things like that, it just feels so strange. But what I'm using now is just my Headshake app. Not app, plugin. The SIM coders plugin. And now it feels a little better when I waggle. And so I'm hoping that when I come into land, this is feels a little more normal. All right, speed, alt, heading. Default one is pretty okay. I did some flights with it and it was doing great. And then aerogenesis, and that's adding some things to calculate. Yeah, so what I ended up doing with this is just... I used to use this Headshake guy all the time because I didn't like the G-loaded camera in X-Plane originally. And this thing gave it some kind of neat feel. So I'm just using this. I had to turn down the level head effect. And then in X camera, what I'm doing is just for all my views, I'm just doing I'm disabling the G-loaded camera and trying Headshake and just seeing how that goes today. Yeah, because why did I get X camera originally? It seemed easier for me. So it does work now. It didn't before, I think. But it does work since one of the newer X-Plane updates that came out maybe like over the last 6 months or something like that. So I know it works, but it just like I mean, in a way I can probably just show you, like if I go X camera control panel, if I go no effect plugin, I go enable G-loaded camera.
Camera safe.
Or if I kill autopilot. I guess that doesn't feel too weird. Gonna make you all sick. It's this like, when I go left to right, it's like I feel the whole airplane shift around, but it's like nothing is actually happening. Now let's go up to 15. Alright, autopilot back on. Let's pull. Thrust climb, open descent, or open climb. Let's see if it doesn't. That's true. Alright, now at least it's not over speeding. But I think today, I know when you do both, it definitely screws things up. And so what I'm going to try is just Headshake today in this thing. Because I use the G-loaded camera in the Toliss and it feels fine to me. But just something about in this one. Where the hell are we? Alright, I can actually go, let's go nav. Nav. Alright, standard. Cool. Forgot 14,000 feet is standard in Korea. Standard. Oh, I should probably go to my flight plan. I'm not on an intercept. Where's our next waypoint? Bolte? Edie's? Let's go direct, Edie's, insert, go, nav. All right, now I can take a nap. Could even go into vertical. Yeah, look at this. I'm just gonna let it do its own thing. Speed too. We'll speed up. Okay, do I have to do anything else down here? Go cruise here. It's all good. And I can show you today the I just put in like a looping routing so I could test some stuff. For you Navigraph. So this is just what we're up to today. And you're not allowed to fly anywhere over South Korea. Military operating areas everywhere. So we're coming down this corridor. And then off to Jeju Island. And zigzagging around through. Oh, we got tailwind now. That's fine. And then this is my favorite thing. So we're just doing a loop around South Korea so I could test this aircraft out a little bit. Let's climb up to... Let's go 20. Flight level 250. Let's push. So every button is taking twice on my wing stuff. So that could be something. Alright, so we're climbing. Yeah, with the VR, makes my head spin. I know when I used the, I was at the flightsim expo in the Netherlands, which was really fun. And they had a pretty cool whole DCS setup. But that was with the Tobii eye tracker. And that was really fun. Look at these dirty windows. But I am, Gog, if you're still here, what I am going to try and do is, I'm going to start messing with some of the mods after this. Because there's all kinds of stuff. You can get the Aerogenesis, you can get the A330-300, and you can get, like, all the different engine variants. But I don't know what the installation process is like for that plugin. It sounds like it's a little annoying, but oh, really? Which one is in Chicago? If there is one in September in Chicago, then I don't see why I wouldn't go. Cause I'm right around the corner. All right, co-pilot. Yeah, that's a good idea. I should keep a copy of just the default. Yeah, I didn't want to start messing with this thing too much before I went into it. Okay. Yeah, because I'm not sure. Like, this thing did something weird to me on takeoff a minute ago. Well, the takeoff was fine, but when I kicked the autopilot in, I just was like heading and did an open climb, and it went max toga. Well, two things. It didn't give me like a thrust climb, lever climb alert when I was climbing. I don't know why it didn't do that, so I had to do that by myself. Pretty sure that's a bug. And then, yeah, otherwise I'm not really sure the capabilities of this thing altogether. But it's probably good enough to fly in like VATSIM and stuff. Even though I think we have to wait for the next update for the weather to actually work. Right now, I think I heard they disabled it or something. Oh, I didn't turn my predictive wind shear on. Ooh. That's dangerous. I thought I did. Yeah. My main thing is when I go into manual flight on landings, and it's totally the G-loaded camera, it just feels like none of my inputs are doing anything. And so that's really the main thing I'm kind of messing about with today. And I wish South Korea wasn't so hazy again today. But flying the Toliss A319, I like having that as like a little Airbus, but I'd like a big Airbus to fly around. And if I can do it without having to buy another add-on, then that would be great. And honestly, this thing looks pretty damn good, I think, for like a default aircraft. Look, we got our first class seating. This is where I really want to be, right here. Yeah, I'll take a vodka soda. Thank you. Medium rare on the fillet, thank you. A char outside. Do you have cream spinach? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll take the cream spinach, and you know what? Let's do potatoes, and for the table, and a bottle of wine for the table. Just California. No, let's Oregon Pinot. Let's go 20. You have a 2018? Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you. No, send the bill to, his name is Santa Owns. Yeah, thank you. Alright, what are we doing here? Why? Well, yeah, I mean, this is all, it's, you know. We're here. We can also cosplay, this poor bastard. Middle aisle, back. Oh my god. Flight attendant. This person is putting their feet up on my chair. Which, by the way, this is some bullshit. Alright, we'll deal with it when we're on the ground. Don't bother me. I got an aircraft to fly. We'll use the company card. So, man, I was flying international. I was going to Europe. Oh, I was coming back. Europe, JFK. I'm in a 787. I'm very excited. First time flying in a 787. It's very nice. Even though I'm in the plebeian seats back here. And this chick behind me, multiple times, the foot. I'm like, I'm over here and I feel something against my body. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like her foot. And it's like, dude, first of all, she's lucky I'm not Korean, because feet are disgusting. You know, that's like big no-no. You know, as an American, whatever, like we're more casual about feet stuff, but fucking hell. And her sock said on it something like her sock said, "I don't give a fuck," like on them. And so I was like, man, you know, this aggression will not stand. You know, there's line in the sand. I make lots of Big Lebowski references in this stream. Walter, you know, he's my one of my spirit animals. So I gave it to her. I'm not a coward. I don't want your feet touching me on a 8-hour flight overseas. And then she tried to do it again. Anyway. Oh, well that's what I ended up doing. I'm like, hey, she doesn't know. What if I have a foot fetish? You know, that's gross now for her. So, I just started I grabbed her. I gave her a little, how's your father? Gave her a little of the business on the foot, and that ended it. It's like, okay, you're gonna stick your foot over here. I'm gonna start playing with your feet. So that stopped it. Anyway, why are we talking about feet? Well, one reason we're talking about feet, I love Korean TV. I watch a lot of Korean TV, and that's, you have to have good foot hygiene, and culturally, you need to be mindful of that. Don't walk into people's homes with your shoes on. They'll have slippers for you and stuff. Alright, we're flying an aircraft. Where are we? Over Korea? South Korea. Yep. Okay, cool. So we're way south. So, Sasebo, I used to have family here in Sasebo. Where did you go, Sasebo? There you are. Known for oysters, which on my California stream. I'm an oyster guy. But now they live in just outside Tokyo. And I'd like to go visit at some point. Yeah, so where's Manila? Philippines? Cebu. I work with a bunch of people from Cebu. Cebuano or Cebuanos. Yeah, I loaded up the X-Plane or the Sim Heaven scenery. Oh, before we started talking about feet, go. Yeah, no problem, dude. Hey, guy, I meant to say, are you did you say you live in the UK? Are you England? Are you watching the World Cup? If so, congrats. Yeah, no problem. Go ahead. Don't let me stop you. Oh yeah, but Santa, the whole thing. Before we got sidetracked talking about feet. So in map enhancement, one of the settings, I don't know if you have the pro version or not. It might only be for the pro version, but if you're doing lots of like low flying in the helicopters, you can get these like, it's complicated. So there's these ground resolutions. You can set the ground resolution, but I think it requires the pro license. It might be only like $5 for the year or something. I don't know. I can't remember. I just got it because I was trying to see how good I can make X-Plane look, and whatever. It's part of the... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did too. It has enough little things. But the default is like all the... When you get Sim Heaven and all the... I don't understand it all, but there's the zoom level 16 is what a lot of the maps are doing, which look great from up here. But when you're real low, it's going to look a little janky. But you can do, for your ground resolution near airports, you can go to the high res, and there's some use high resolution when flying low. So you click that. So you have to do high resolution here, and then this gives you like a... I don't want to do it now because I might break it. But then you can do this loading, and it'll load parts of your scenery early. And then the only other thing I think is to make sure you set your... Oh no, here's this preload thing that I think helps. If your computer can handle it, of course, is all that. And then you just want to make sure to set your cache to... I think they said make sure it's at least 30 gigs or something like that. So that's the... those are at least some of the little things I think I heard people say are the way to go. Okay, nice. So yeah, so you're letting it have plenty of room to breathe. All right, what I want to do now is test. Let me get a... So kiddos, we got... I want distances. This fuel, wind. Here, our mileage. So we got 18, 26. Where are we? Total? No, not yet. So from kiddos to Remos. I want to just see kind of how this thing descends when you're just doing a normal open descent. So we're at 25, flight level 250. Let's go down to 150 with just a good old fashioned. Let's pull for thrust idle open descent. Let's see what happens here. I'm curious like how aggressively it tries to get after this. Fairly aggressively. So I'm pretty sure like 5 degree down is not what it would want to be doing. But I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Or ask one of the smart people on one of the flight sim discords. But if I want to fly this thing on VATSIM a little more, I think I need to, or not more, but if I decide to, I wanted to set the chrono for that to see how quickly it leads off. But it does go to thrust idle, so it should just be, by our rule of thumb, 30 miles. Plus some headwind component. Let's see. We descended. We should hit. We have our little indicator. Really, I don't need to be in speed. I'm gonna pull the speed knob. And let's go Mach 68. Mach 0.68. Santa, you go Mach plus Mach. So this is probably a pretty aggressive pitch down, but so be it. Yeah, so the main thing here, I'm mainly just trying to get some like points of reference for that. I think so, yeah. Yeah, so here's the thing, like X-Plane, and I think X-Plane is really dependent on where you are. We're overspeeding, don't we? Yeah, I know. And X-Plane can look real bad low. So I know a lot of people say from, yeah. I mean, I think, I'm trying to think. I'll ask one of my other, like, another X-Plane aficionado. I'll shoot you a note in Discord or something if I figure out a cool place to fly that looks good. But that's maybe how you can maybe see where some of the visuals are going to be better. The other thing I noticed, it depends where you're flying. So I've got well, look, DCS is going to be awesome for yeah, I hear you, man. It's all fun and games. Not on this stream. This is very serious, as you know. No, Jeju. We should check something. How tall is Ah, shit. That's right. How else would I know what I'm doing without checklists? Well, you know, X-plane from this height, of course, looks good. But I'm using, like, I know when you're flying over Asia, I think Mapbox is the best one to pick, especially if you're over China. There are some Chinese maps, but I think they're pretty old, and I don't know how good a quality they are. Oh yeah, Mount Jeju. I'm pretty sure one of my favorite K-dramas takes place on this mountain. Oh, and like I said, we should really check that what the MSA is here. How tall is... I don't see anything crazy. Look, we're even... Okay, it's low. Alright, 8,500. Watch out for with the mountain. But yeah, X-plane at height looks real good still. But I think it's just, it is going to be hard to match the how good Microsoft Flight Sim looks for VFR flying under 10,000 feet. But then, of course, Microsoft just feels so weird. Alright, how much distance between 80? Alright, so let's do something now. Is this thing gonna like take off on us again? Let's go up to flight level 2, or 3, flight level 30. Let's pull. Thrust climb, open climb. Engines should start spooling up. We should start pitching up. How aggressively are you going to go? 3,000 feet per minute? That's pretty normal, really. Because here's where X-plane, I think, looks really good. But, you know, plus 10,000 feet. And the cities tend to look good. Yeah. Yeah, X-plane does require a little more proficiency. Well, I'm in the Airbus, so I can't explain the autopilot too much for the Boeings. This is all this like push-pull stuff, so it's totally different. But like on the Boeing, if you like push this, that's the lateral navigation. This is vertical navigation, at least the speed, vertical speeds, and this is more the vertical nav. Yeah, I don't know how to talk them back and forth. But the main thing, if you can get working, is you got to have your So you turn your flight directors on, and even if you don't use the LNAV VNAV mode, which is going to be what you do need if you're flying an actual course, if you don't want to have to punch in all the computer stuff, which you don't really have to do, you just want in the Boeing heading select and speed and out level change are the 3 buttons that you care about, and alt hold would be the other one, because those don't care about a flight plan, and then you can just fly any heading. Like, you know, with right now I could go into, I can pull heading 056, and regardless of course I can pull, you know, I can turn left, I can turn right, and that in the Boeing is heading select. And then if I were to push this, it goes into nav mode, and then it's going to stay on whatever my course is, as long as I'm near it. Yeah, so if you, the thing it's going to freak out the most is if you're not at the right, at like any, if you don't tell it an altitude to be at, or a vertical mode to be at, then that's when it's going to start yelling at you and being weird. So like what you want to try and do is like get to some altitude, 5,000 feet, 10,000 feet, and hit level change or flight change. That puts it into like a climb mode. And the speed will turn off in that case, because that's all it cares about then. Is it'll try and maintain your speed, but it's pitching up. And well, once you get to a level altitude and you go into alt hold mode, and it'll say like alt hold up here, then you go into speed, and then speed, like right now I'm in speed mode in this aircraft, and so if you see over here, any changes I make here will speed it up. And since we're in the flight change mode, the logic, the open climb mode, the logic is that it's going to want to get to the speed that I have set first. That's why it just started leveling out, even though we're climbing. It's going to get to the speed that I just dialed in. Then it will resume climbing. It'll pitch the nose up because it's on thrust climb. So it's using as much its climb power here. And so now, once it levels out to speed, it's going to start climbing again. So there, it's going to start climbing. Engine's probably going to start spooling up a little more. But basically, once you can get yourself into... you know, you're going to want autopilot on, command 1 on. That's the other thing. You have to actually turn the full autopilot on. And if you can get into command 1, alt hold, heading select, speed, that's like your baseline. And then at least anytime you change your heading knob, you can just turn left and right. Yeah, so like in the Boeing, it's yeah, on the... Were you in the, do you have the, where were you in, the Zibo or the 757? I mean, they're basically the same. What do they call it? Let me see. Yeah, I mean, gotta be professional. Like me, I don't even know what we're doing right now. Looking good. Okay, great. Here, whatever. It's all to get you MCP diagram. Alright, here we go. Why do they make it so hard to do stuff on Google? It's like every picture you click, they want to take you somewhere. So, right here on your panel, this one looks weird. But these are your course knobs, don't worry about those. But you're gonna want this button right here, command 1. That is actually the autopilot button. And in the 757 there's three autopilots. So you can pick any of them actually. But just command 1. That turns the whole, that actually triggers this bad boy to come on. And then what you want to do is use one of the level change modes to get to your altitude and heading select to pick a heading. That's when it'll start following your speed and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, auto throttle is the other thing. You want that on. And auto throttle will work even with this off. I'm almost positive. Because that's just commanding the engine thrust. But yeah, once you want the actual autopilot engaged, you hit this command 1. And then on your primary flight display up here, it'll say that FD is flight director, it'll say command 1. Alright, where am I? What am I doing? Okay, yeah. So that's why. It's like in the Airbus, if you ever do these, it's the same deal. Like, you can, like if I turn autopilot off, it's going to bark at me here. And you can still do all this stuff, like with the speed, and I can pull heading and tell it to do stuff, but it's not going to actually do anything until I activate autopilot, and now it'll turn and do all this stuff. Nice. I mean, because the one thing too, these aircrafts, I mean, really, they're meant to be flown using the automation because it's dangerous to fly them. Well, you don't care about danger, of course. I don't even think you're allowed to manually fly these planes above a certain flight level. Okay, I'm actually, since we're playing around again here too, I'm going to descend back down to 15, but I'm going to use vertical mode and just see how it feels. I probably should slow down. Alright, so if I go... So pushing that is... hold. Although on the A300, does this thing... Oh, push to level off, and this is just alt. Hold, I guess. Yeah. So if we push for vertical speed, (2,000 feet per second). See how this thing does. Well, you are Santa, right? That man, you have quite the job every year. Yeah, the A320 Toliss is good. I have the 319, and like these are all the same. That's like you know, if you can fly one, you can fly them all. Is essentially how it goes, to an extent, because they're all by the same logic. But for sure, I'm gonna go back into lateral nav mode. Yes, number one priority. Look at this thing wobbling around like a mofo. But one thing I was gonna say, like the biggest knock you're gonna get on some of these is gonna be like, all right, if you were like this is stuff that I'm way too, like, I don't think I'll ever be knowledgeable enough about. But, you know, people say like the pitch power settings are going to be off in some of the freebie aircraft and stuff, but and so they might perform a little outside their actual real life counterparts, but the Toliss is supposedly, like, real life pilots say that the A320 Toliss is one of the better feeling ones. Ah. So you have to link up your in Toliss. There's a menu that you have your SimBrief account, or not SimBrief, Navigraph account. You can link up Navigraph and X-Plane, and that should update the computers for you. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna have an old FMC. Trying to think in the Toliss. Okay, so the 7.5 is more okay, here's why. I show you why. So do you have the, you know, the Navigraph FMS data manager? So when you go to your add-on mappings, okay, you got to pick, or it's so stupid. Certain aircraft need their own specific folder. So like the main XP12 is just in like the XP12 custom data folder. Then you've got to tell it, you go to your add-on mappings and do like a add. Select the add-on from here, and then go to the particular folder. And the one you want to add is, there's this one, where is it? This thing. X-Plane, GNS 430, flight factor 757, 767, 767, blah, 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 Toliss, blah, blah, blah. This one you want to pick, and I think you do the, I'll show you at least where, yeah, X-Plane 12, custom data. I have it in this GNS 430 folder, I guess. And then for the 777, I had to manually add it, and that's in the like custom data, STFF, nav data, MDBL data. So this is the annoying crap in X-Plane. So that's what I would check. If your FMS data manager has this thing, that will get your 757 with the right stuff, and the Toliss, I believe. And it can scan your X-Plane folder, but I don't know how good it is with that. And I wish I remembered how I found it. Alright, Alt Star at 15,000. Is it less hazy out here now? Alright, Alt. Okay, one thing I do want to try since I'm coming up here, PSN. I haven't done a hold in this thing. So I go PSN, hold, inbound course. What are we flying right now? Our course, 57. Alright, inbound course, 057. Right turn, give me a 2-minute invalid. Insert temporary. Nice, a hold. Let's see how it holds. Does it actually give us a ideal speed for it? Usually you don't want to be. I'll go down 250 for the hold. I'm doing this just to see if the hold works. Hold function works. Are there any mountains down here? Go down 10,000. 8,000, how about that? Alright, I am going to pull, thrust idle, open descent. Let's see if I get the QNH around here. Okay, you think you added the 77 and that other one correctly? Somewhere, the other thing, if you have the SimBrief hub, is definitely one thing to do. And you put your pilot ID in and that's it. And that helps. Something. Then, I thought there was like a whole Navigraph thing here. Headshake, camera, terrain radar. No. Maybe not. But I think that's where you kind of can link them up. Alright, let me get a local QNH here. Where are we? Busan. Train to Busan. Good movie. Whether it is UNH 1010. And 10. Push and push. Oh, cool. Here's Busan. There we are. That little dot way up there. So yeah, I mean, you can see the textures are just not going to be as nice. Although it might not be loading in. I'm also, it doesn't like what I'm doing right now, being on the drone cam. Where's the aircraft? Uh-oh. I appreciate that. Gonna get a lot of people killed. Cool. Alright, so I'm somewhere over... Alright, first of all, I'm higher than this. Go up. Oh, there we are. And it coming in for intercept. We're holding pretty nicely. Oh, nice. The Norwegian soccer team is actually flying home on this very same aircraft, kind of. The slightly smaller one, the A330-300. Ooh, very interesting. Why would they be coming to Indy? Oh, WNBA, probably. Alright, this is my my filter for the sports. Delta Sports. But I was saying... There's like the cool, like the stuff. Anyway, I was looking at this because I wanted to see... Oh, is it here? No. Huh. Blind? Anyway. Alright, we're holding the temperature. Okay, we're good. No anti-ice required. Ria, why are you so hazy today? Okay. So it did the hold well. I feel good about that. Kind of. Struggling slightly, maybe? Good enough for, I talked to a VATSIM controller, and he was basically saying, as long as you are holding, that's what they care about. If you're slightly off, so you can see I'm 0.6. So that's, I think, showing the accuracy, which is to say not as accurate as it needs to be. Okay, so flight plan, IM exit. What does that do? Okay, so if I say IM exit, let's see what happens now. If it will automatically, what I'm hoping is it does not do another loop. If it does do another loop, we will fly on our own. I like these wind effects. It's funny. You know, I know it's for immersion, you get the dirt, but I'm like, no, I want it, I'm doing this for fun. I want to see it crisp and clear. So here our head is sticking out the window here, like a dog. Alright, let's see what happens here. Does it turn left or right? What do you think? I think it should go left. Or it's going to do one more pattern. Huh? Ooh. Alright. Hey, look at that. Ace Ventura. That is such a good movie. And yeah, I'm from Miami, so it's lots of things are special to me. It's got my favorite football team. It's got Courtney Cox in her prime. Totally my type. So, you know, here, like, you know, I like this. Oh, you bastard. How dare you? How dare you? First of all, they were good in 1970. 72 is the year you're looking for. And then, unfortunately, yes, they have been terrible since. I've been I'm 40 years old or something. I've been to, I don't think I've seen a playoff win. They've won one playoff game in the 40 years of my life, something like that. And I was at, so I went to it was I don't know how big a football fan you are, but it was the Wildcat year when the Dolphins you know, you're making it hard on me here. I don't like how you're saying if it's not Dan's fault. It's a team sport. Laces out, you know? Laces out, Dan. Ooh, this is pretty. No, hey, there's no more honest Dolphins fan than me. You know, honestly, I'll have to look back at like my Discord proclamations with my friends in our sports Discord, but I might have wrote them off by now. And in a way, I am. I actually, on Sundays, I'll put the Dolphin game on mute, like on the tablet. But on TV One, I'm a red zone guy. I think Chris Hansen is great at his job, and he does really good with that NFL red zone. I actually love it. Oh, Bears fan. So one of my best friends is a Bears fan. He's a Chicago sports guy. Bears, Cubs. But the Bears are a fun team to like right now. Broncos. And the Broncos are an interesting team too. Phonics. That's what we call him. Phonics. Your quarterback. And you got Peyton, Sean Payton, who's a great coach. He's an asshole. He likes pills, but I guess who doesn't? He's a party animal. And you know what? You know he was supposed to be. He was potentially going to be the Dolphins coach. That was what we got in trouble for. All the collusion that year. They were going to bring in Tom Brady as the quarterback, and he was going to be our coach. And they were going to try and go out for a Super Bowl run all in. And then our owner, you know, he's a complete asshole, so we got in trouble. But yeah, the Broncos are an interesting team. Eh. Well, Super Bowls will still be played in Miami thanks to our nice new stadium. Yeah, I know. Well, which World Cup game is going to be there? Probably one of the next ones. Got to be there. Oh no, probably the last game was the. Was it no my England Norway was in Miami, I think. It was so damn hot they were all dying. We got some mountains here. Let's. All right, we're okay. The new Hard Rock is pretty nice though. That when they put that awning on it, it makes such a big difference. They do the tennis there. They do F1 there now. We have enough fuel. Fuel prediction. Oh yeah, we got plenty of time. I think. Oh yeah, we're good. But yeah, the Dolphins there will be Super Bowls in Miami. Whether or not Dolphins are there, that's the whole other story. But like I said, I you know, I'm taking a step back. They finally cleaned house. I'll see how this new coaching staff does, and we'll go from there. That's the best I can do. But in general, I'm a fan of things Colorado. That's a good state. Yeah, I mean, you know, from 8,000 feet and plus, X-Plane does the trick. But you're right, that flying through the Grand Canyon, I would think the Grand Canyon, they'd have it modeled nicely. Alright, here comes a big right turn. God, it's so dirty, I can't see. Yeah, World Cup. I'm glad the World Cup is going on, so it fills the void with baseball All-Star break. Roads here are taken care of by the county commissioner. Everyone calling for him to be ousted because roads are not drivable after they just fixed them. Well, God, you sound like you in my town, actually, too. It's like saying the Rams no problem. Man, you are just taking my wounds and ripping them apart. Look at that. Yeah, I was a fan of Tua. I thought he was gonna be, in my head, he was gonna be a oh, I got some stupid text message. I kind of, one of my favorite QBs was Russell Wilson, believe it or not. I respected the hell out of that guy, and I liked him. And yeah, it was the Tua ride was just too much. I wanted to believe. I joined Tuanon on the Dolphins Discord, you know, on my alt account. Can't have people know for real. And yeah, I mean, I feel bad. He's such a good guy, but he just broke in on multiple fronts. Physically, he just wasn't there, and then of course mentally, and then once he started getting the concussions, I think he started hearing too much of the, you know, too much of the noise just on the media, and he started doing. He would just make some really bad plays that I think he was just trying too hard. He was pressing. He needed the reset. So I really do like the guy. He seems like a good dude, but I don't think he's not your quarterback of the future. Speaking of stadium. Where am I in SK? That's China. I have to say, you know, you're looking at China when everything is perfectly. This is why it's so hard to fly or travel over China. Like, every thing is equidistant from itself in perfect grid. You know, communism. They know what they're not screwing around. Anyway, Korea. Oh, Daegu. That's where the baseball team is. I wonder if that's. Yeah, so we probably went over the baseball stadium. Yeah. Hey man, Korea makes some quality automobiles. Yep, the Daewoo. Korea has an interesting corporate culture. What's the word? The oh man, why am I spacing on it? Need another cup of coffee. Yeah, but for a long time it was like, I mean, it's not unlike, I mean, here in the U.S. probably basically the same way, but if you get deep down. But yeah, these like ultra wealthy families tend to own companies for like they're basically like these dynastic families. through. Let me look. What's the rest of our track mileage here? I want Prague. So flight plan 2317. Of course, I didn't start the clock. Alright, so not too far. Let me look at a chart. Alright, Gukto 16. So I'm going to climb up to... Alright, flight level 160. Let's just go pull. Thrust climb, open climb. We can speed up. Go 280. 280. Here we are. Rocking some aviators. That looks like Tom Brady. I don't know who she looks like. That looks like Tom Brady to me. Brutal. Even after all these years, I see him everywhere. I bet he could. He is unfortunately probably the greatest quarterback of all time. No, so born and raised in Miami, and then I lived in Tampa for like 10 years, and when I was in Tampa, Rays games were so cheap, and I was single for a big chunk of that time, so like my hobby was just, I had nothing better to do. I'd go to Rays games. Really good tickets, really cheap, and I ended up becoming a big Rays fan. And then that stuck. Now I'm in the Midwest, and I'm a Rays fan. Alright, another big turn incoming. But I'm okay with the Bucks. Oh man, you should see. First of all, you know who the best team in the American League is right now? Why don't you go look it up? Scoreboard. That's right, the Tampa Bay Rays. They're a fantastic organization. Do they spend money? No. But they are a fantastic organization. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, if they win like the World Series or something, I will, who knows what I'll do on live stream. I'll do barrel rolls in their team charter. All right. Full set standard. Standard. Yeah, those were the glory days for the Braves. So Greg Maddux right now, he's a pitching coach. I saw him recently for someone. And then Smoltz, he calls games for Fox, I think, every so often. And, oh man, he is such a poopy pants. He's way too serious. Now, he's right about a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong. Like, he knows it's baseball. Are there other sports? Well, I don't know what the Lakers are. What is that? National Basketball Association? That's not a real sport. Hockey is worth talking about sometimes. I wish I could get into it more, but I can't. Even though like two of my buddies are like hockey players. That's what I like is men's D level whale shit, you know, amateur hockey. That is fun. Okay, well then go watch you know, whale shit men's D League hockey at your local ice rink. Although they're actually very anti-fighting. Or if you want to fall back in love with hockey, watch Letterkenny and Shoresy. Great, great television. The hell? Hell the message. Oh, yeah. You're allowed to say redneck here. Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. I'll tell it what words are okay. I married into the reddest neck family. You know, I'm a dapper city boy, and I married some Central Florida father-in-law, mother-in-law. Are you watching? Wife, are you? Where are you? He's at work. He's making money for me. I'm taking. I have this week off actually. Not really, but oh yeah, I do all kinds of good old boy stuff with my in-laws. Yeah. I go visit them in Central Florida on the property. We do some shooting. We do some four-wheeling, fishing. It's great. Oh, he lets me ride. I drive the tractor. The John Deere. I help him dig up stumps. Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. Deere. All right, so check it out. No, Thanksgiving, like some years ago, just a few years ago, we did Thanksgiving with that side of the family. And I told him, I'm like, screw regular Thanksgiving stuff. What do you got in the deep freeze? And he had gotten a deer. All right, you'll have to elaborate on that. But my father-in-law went hunting. Well, he always goes hunting, but he had just gotten a deer that season, so I actually don't even think it was like it was fresh. Who's a good man? Oh, okay. Oh, I'll have to check that out. I love YouTube. Okay. So, like I said, I'm the refined Florida man. My in-laws are not crazy Florida people. Now, some of the extended family, they might be on episodes of Cops. Methamphetamine, you know. Well, they might be on Cops for two reasons. Because some of them are cops, and they're the most crooked of them all. Oh, but yeah, that is too bad if he's a Florida guy. But for that Thanksgiving, my father-in-law had gotten a deer that season, and we had two, full, the what do they call it? Backstrap. Anyway, two venison tenderloins, and I made absolutely fantastic lamb. I like lamb too. Deer, venison. I did two tenderloins, seared with thyme and Dijon mustard. Medium rare. Oh man, they were so good. I made mashed potato casserole and grilled asparagus. We rented a big house in Pensacola because my family, other part of the family, was still in flight school there at the time. Or not in school, at least. They were stationed at NAS Pensacola. And that was a good trip. That was a very Florida trip. Pensacola. But I guess I do miss that part of Florida. Getting because my father-in-law can't cook. He knows I can. So whenever we did stuff. All right, we have very serious flight simulation to take care of. We're like right here, coming in. Yeah, I miss Florida a little bit, not much. This is professional, is what this is. And if you're gonna be professional, you autopilot. You know, what am I, some kind of amateur? Am I gonna be, no autopilot at 16,000 feet? Look, dude, we're on the Gukdo 2 Tango. Did I show you this yet? Here's how serious we have to be. Warning. Alright, we're coming up to Seoul. So here's the airport. Here's Romeo Kilo Papa -73. That's over downtown Seoul. Now keep this in mind. This is how serious we have to be on this stream. If an aircraft is seen flying towards Romeo Kilo Papa, I guess that's Republic of Korea or something, without proper clearance, which we don't have, a tracer warning shot will be fired. If the aircraft continues into Romeo Kilo Papa 73, it will be shot down without further warning. An exception to this will be civilian aircraft, which has been identified as friendly. So, by the way, here's our approach. There's RKP73. So, just think, if we're coming in on the ILS and we take we start listing to the right, we're going to get shot down. And even worse, avoid penetration of -518 up here. And do not fly north of the Yankee Juliet uniform VOR, because as you know, we've got some problems up here. The DMZ. You wanna stay out, and the airport, Seoul's right there. Here's the airport. They don't want you flying over downtown Seoul. And I think the state buildings must be here and stuff. But yeah, no flying over Namsan Mountain. And don't fly into, Kaesong. Or we can defect. If you want to defect, we can defect today. I don't think I want to defect. I don't know what they do to you there in North Korea. Okay. We're coming up to be very serious time, so let me concentrate. We want to do our performance destination, so the QNH at South Korea. What's 10 What's this in baro? Or in inches mercury? 29.76 to 9.76. Now we can go. Temperature is 28 Celsius. The wind 280 at 5. It might get variable, but that's okay. Transition is that. Our approach is 242 feet decision. We will do config full, and let's go auto brake low, because we have plenty of runway. 32 right. ILS 32 right. Let's go to our nav rad. We're still too far away for it, but we'll watch that to make sure it comes in. Alright, we're already pretty low. Let's go lights on. That can stay off. Ding the cabin. And just for you, Santa, checklist. Descent. MCD landing perf is reviewed. ECAS is below. Not, but it doesn't matter. There's no other planes here. Let's do an approach briefing so you know what we're doing, Santa. Here we are. No. Here we are. We're flying to Golf Uniform Kilo Delta Oscar. We need to be above flight level 160. Need to be at 250 feet max, or 250 knots max. We're going to slow down early because this plane, I'm actually going to slow down right now to 250 knots. Because this thing was really hard to stop before, or to slow down. We need to make sure we don't get shot down. We need to be 8,000 by Bumsy. That'll be the next altitude that I care about. Dial that in. And then we need to be 4,000 by Mobac. And we will be on the ILS. Oh, I know that guy. Something Wong? It could be. We'll see. It could just be, fuck you today. If I crash. I might be that guy. Alright. We did a checklist. We did check the QNH. 1018. Or 1008. Zoom in a little. Alright, here we go. Yeah, we never had our top of descent, so. Alright, flight plan. Let's go direct. Octo. Insert. Here we go. Deep descent. We know. Okay, let's go into managed. Managed. No. Managed. There we go. Thrust idle. Opening the speed window. Speed 50. We are descending. I descended a little early. It actually probably shouldn't, because I have the restriction, right? Oh well. Yeah. And you know, we have room for all these folks. We got a we have 1, 2, 3 jump seats. Someone sit here too? I don't know if anyone's allowed to sit there. But yeah, so your co-pilot is something wrong. Really, our co-pilot is way too low. And that can be, our jump seaters are definitely the ones. Holy fuck. Bang ding. That's, God. Which is very serious. Okay, let's go local 1008 QNH. Remember, in these planes, you got to set your local QNH so you don't crash into the ground. And 08. Push, push. Okay. That's all of our
Altimeter setting.
all of our passengers. Okay, RAS lady telling us that we set our barometer. It is so hazy. Really, I could probably just do the whatever weather we want, because there's really no wind, not really bad wind. So 280. So we're landing 3-2, so 280, we'll have a little bit of wind coming from the left. Should be no factor. Ooh, man. Okay, if you do go to the flight sim thing, then, and it's in Chicago, I have an incredible Korean barbecue place in Chicago. And we have to go early, because it is going to be mobbed. Oh yeah? Alright, well, I'm gonna have to look it up. Because I love going to the... Well, I love Chicago. I love flight sim conventions. Alright, let's slow down. 230. Oh, okay. Cool. I rarely have to leave the house for my job. Well, I have to have meetings with authors. That's tomorrow. And that is a real life author. SimGamingExpo.com. Alright, cool. And it's in September? Oh, I work in publishing. 18th through 20th. Okay. I'm definitely looking that up. I got the link open right now. Ooh. All right. So, man, I'll make another Twitch friend right away. I don't see why I wouldn't go to that, actually. Oh, cool. So I've been twice now so, all right. Every year I like to, it's like my chill out time. Come around like March or October are the two down times when I work. So I'm in publishing. I'm an editor, copy editor. I do all kinds of crap for publishing, and academic stuff. So I kind of am on a school, like university, setting. Like schedule, and usually March and October I can take those 2 months off. Ugh, dude, no, you're exactly, I need you. Please don't learn English. I need everyone to not learn English. Yeah, typo. That's alright. No, don't worry. It's nothing like that with me. I am your friendly neighborhood editor. Except right now I'm practically ghostwriting a book. Well, hablo español poquito. Porque, soy de Miami. Pero, but see, my vocabulary is so bad. Like, I know what to tell you. I even know how to conjugate things, but I don't know the words for anything. Mi esposa es ayuda. What's to learn? Es learning. Es ayuda español ahora mismo. Aprendar. Okay. Mi esposa aprende español in la Duolingo. So I've been trying to learn Dutch the last 2 years and failing miserably. Oh man, you're screwing me up so bad here. All right, 8,000. I love the Netherlands. Let's slow down. What's our up speed? All right, I gotta concentrate. I'll tell you when I land. No. And see, don't act like I'm telling everything. The autopilot is a moron. I'm the one doing everything here. It's just instead of doing it with my hand on this, I can do it with this. And I will be flying this whole thing for you once we get closer to the ILS and I have some loose indications. But the yada yada was the last 2 years or so. So I'll go on a trip to the Netherlands. I have friends who live there, so I can just stay there for free. I impose on one of my really good friends. I tell him, I just text him. I'm like, I'm coming to the Netherlands for a month. I'm sleeping on your couch. But the flight sim convention is there, and the people who I've met on the flight sim community so far are all these European dudes, like Germans and Dutch bros. So I said, hey, you know what? When I go over there, it happened to be the flight sim convention going on. It was so cool. So why am I not getting any ILS indicators? I feel like I should be. Navrad. Because there's no... But I see it right here. Oh, we're in trouble. Alright, I'm gonna just go vertical speed. Alright. 0.7. Yeah. 0.7. Yeah, give me a break. Alright, here's our ILS. And we're high. Because we didn't descend. vertical speed. We will never get back on path. So here's what we're gonna do, just for you. Oop, I think I dropped some frames. We actually have a lot of wind coming in at this altitude. So, because I screwed up, let's pull heading and let's do an orbit and lose some altitude. It's outbound. And there are mountains around here. And what I will do, MOBAC is 4,000, so that's there. 1,000. We can arrest our descent a little bit. Go 1,200. Here I'm just changing the vertical speed mode here for our passengers' safety. And MOBAC. And here's the thing I always forget. So MOBAC, I want radial in 324. Alright, direct, MOBAC, radial in, nav, 324, no, that's the wrong way. 144? That should be the radial out. Right? There, that. Direct to insert. Alright, there we go. Nice. So I was just drawing an extended center line out for us so we can re-intercept the ILS. Okay, I'm gonna go flaps 1. Slow down. Turn back to MOBAC. Go arc. Deep descent, not on intercept. Do I have to tell this or also first? Oh no, that's that. Oh, it doesn't matter. Alright. Nice. We're totally back on now. Santa was unable to screw us over. Alright, let's start slowing down. Best speed. Oh yeah. That is nice. Oop, I turned too much. Man, that's some crazy ass wind right now. All right, flaps 2. Oh, the DC-3? Yeah, that would be fun to fly. Okay, go ahead and arm the speed brake. Our indicators are going to be coming in. So here they come. Here it comes. Time end. Time end. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check out the DC-3 in a sec. The older planes they can be a handful, but they're fun. Oh yeah, so this is like the localizer symbol. This is the glide slope, this is the localizer. So that keeps us laterally on track, left and right. This keeps us vertically on track. So if I press approach right now, lock star, just saying it's locking onto our localizer beam and turning us. Glide slope means it's going to start following this down. Yeah. And that's how you just help orient you to the runway. But just for you, I am going to do some stuff early so I can feel how this thing flies. We're gonna go like grandma into this. We're only like 10 miles away. Alright, so I'm gonna go gear down. Go flaps full. Our reference speed was 140. So if you look in our activate approach phase. Come on.
2,500.
We have our approach speeds here, and that's where we're trying to target. So I'm gonna go back into manage mode actually. And so this is starting to take us down. And what I will do is see if I can get my throttles where I want them. Alright, auto thrust is off. I think. I should have got a warning, but okay. A little more power. We do have a shitload of wind, holy crap. 150 at 8. Alright, this is bad. Alright, approach checklist. Before landing, cabin crew, advised, train, spoilers set, brakes, armed, everything's down, we're good. Does my autopilot, do I see, let's see if we can see a runway. There we go. I know where we're going. Alright, my controls. Alright, so now we will see how this thing is feeling. I am going so fast, holy shit. Slow down, baby. They're getting a little low. Think rate's a little high. level off a little, give some power. 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 Get back on course. The runway. Coming down.
1,000.
Alright, continue. Up. Alright, let's go visual. Flight directors off. Bird on. I said bird on. Bird on. It's not turning on. Bird on. No. Alright. Not letting me. We're high, we're fast. We're going for it. Okay, this is go around. But for Santa demonstration purposes. I don't know why my flight path vector
Approaching 3, 2, right.
500.
3 white, so that means we're high. But we got a lot of runway. I'll tell you what though, with this,
300.
the head shake feels so much better than the G loaded camera.
200.
Alright, so we are going to get fired for this landing. But,
Minimum.
continue.
50, 40, 30, 20, re-10, 5.
Oh, man. Alright, reversers. Full. I'm not used to the height on this plane. Alright, 80 knots, manual brakes. Reversers can come in. Brake. Take the next one. Spoilers come in, flaps can come in. Brake.
5,000 feet remaining.
Got a whole half a runway to go. Brake. Gentle. Braking. We did it. Unstable. We'll look at that later. We knew we were unstable. Big boy turn. Driving a little drunk. Alright. Driving fast. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. You know. But, yeah, I don't know what's going on. My, see this? Flight path vector won't go on. Why? Interesting. This is a bug or something. That works. That works. Huh. Strobes off. Off. Taxi. Button. No. Well, we're at the end of the flight here. Sandwiches are coming for everybody. I could use a sandwich too after that. Turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that off. What's going on here? What's wrong with you? This shit. We're gonna knock those down. Alright, so something to figure out is... That's definitely something buggy. Weird. Never had that happen. Alright, let's get our passengers safely to the terminal. At the APU. We'll make them walk the whole terminal. Go 20. So the thing I was trying to turn on, Santa, that's not working for some reason, is the flight path vector. So I had the flight directors on, which there's none now, but that's like the cross that you see. That'll actually kind of help you on your course. When you're landing, you turn that off, and you can get your flight path vector when you click here, and it's this little... It wants to show up. It's this little symbol there, that little circle with the cross. And that shows you on the display where your degrees, your pitch and stuff like that, and you can use that to kind of make sure you're not gonna crash. Okay. And so what happened at the end there, yeah, exactly. And so at the end I like to use that, but I got some kind of button binding conflict here somewhere. Nowhere. But I will find it and I will kill you. Alright, park brake. Alright, weather off. Not blasting anyone with anything, just lights. APU bleed, come on. Strobes are off. Beacon can come off. Yeah, that's right. See, you're with me, man. Engines come off. Look at that. Look at that. The gate coming. Flight. Ground handling. Set chocks. Ground services. Total realism, immersion. Alright, engines are spooling down. Wheel. Are my brakes hot? No. Alright, we did good. No brake fan required. Alright, what, okay, I just heard the power transfer over. So let's go ahead and free the people. Smoke them if you got them. External power. No more air conditioning for anybody. Okay. Boom. I'm calling that shut down. I'm calling that a secure aircraft. Let's let people talk to us. Getting congratulations from everybody. Alright, so let me write this down. Button binding. Fucked. Flight path vector. So that, you know, I got a little distracted at the end. So it wasn't just your fault, Santa. It was my fault too. But also the game's fault. Or, excuse me, the simulator's fault. Alright, let's watch a quick replay and then I want to watch other flight sim stream. Someone who actually knows what they're doing.
Low, flaps.
I can do an auto. Well, it was a pretty hard landing. I'll tell you that much. So let's see. Why were we unstable? I mean, I know why. We were like 1,000 feet too high for most of that. And what is it? Stable approach. Show reports. Yeah. So first of all, we landed harder than 600 feet per minute. So chiropractic. So there's me wobbling on purpose. We were off the glide slope. Approach speed. Yeah, so we knew this was happening. That's why I said it was a go around. But these are not the... This is not the worst things that can happen. But one thing I do need to get used to on this big plane is... I started the flare, and I think when I started the flare, I was already... yeah, so here's I was trying to... This one I got off our glide slope, I was getting too low. But I think I need to be much more... Ooh, look at that. Pitch down. This is... people will be puking back there. But yeah, so Asia tends to not have the best... or... I mean, not Asia per se, but Korea and China don't really let you have much... I think they just don't like allow for the world to have high-res satellite imagery. Brazil, I think, is also one of them, and Colombia, so that the coke dealers or cocaine lords can't be seen. But Japan usually has pretty good ground textures, as I recall. So what happened was I started flaring at like 50 feet, but this is a big aircraft and probably need to do that earlier. And so what happened was I just tanked right into the ground. Blah. Man, that didn't look that bad. Alright, here's what it would have felt like. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Don't say anything. Just, yeah. My back, too. Yes, this person got all of it, you know. That's, ground shocks right to you. Alright, not our best, not our worst. A lot of factors went wrong, but this was a successful stream. Oh, ground power probably not connected now. Alright, whatever. Because I think this add-on is a lot better with the Headshake plug-in instead of the G-Load camera. That's my findings for today. So yeah, that's my that's what I'm gonna say we did. Yeah. And likewise for me. This was fun. I am gonna go watch some so Black Box is gonna be flying a little later, I think, on his second stream, probably in like an hour. the big version of this, but this is the A330-300. There's an A330-900, which I think is longer, and it's by Toliss. So I'm curious to see just kind of what that looks like in the sim, because I haven't seen that big one, and I'm curious to see his thoughts on it. So that's definitely what I want to go, what I'll be watching this afternoon. But on the plus side, I think I like this aircraft a lot more now that the Headshake app is the way to go. So, here, man. Missed a bunch of text messages. Family, I'm gonna get in trouble now. I don't know. Tomorrow I have work. Wednesday, possibly Wednesday stream, leading up to the World Cup. I might go for a spin again. And then Thursday is work, and Friday is work too, I think. But yeah, man, thanks for popping in and saying hi. Always fun talking to you. And I'll probably still be sticking around the Airbus for a bit. That could be. Let me see, where are they playing? I'll see where they're playing. We fly around the stadium and or a helicopter. How about I try a helicopter in this game? Oh god, I don't know. That's out of character for me. It would be too. I'm too risk averse for that. Well, we'll see. But yeah. Thanks again for joining me. That's true. I'll need the help in Flight Simulator. I'll put all assists on. Well, that was a good time. Thanks for joining me again. Santa, Gog, if you're still back there somewhere. Thanks for coming in. You too, dude. And enjoy some King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard as usual. And I'll see you possibly Wednesday. We shall see.
Sometimes I think I wasn't cut out for this world.
I hear you, Ambi. Me either.
Sometimes I just feel like just a scumbag to everyone.
I don't feel like a scumbag to everyone.
Yeah, do my own thing.
But I do like
You're a
chicken.
scumbag, man.
I do like eating the scraps.
You like chicken.
I do like chicken.
Alright, take it easy, everybody.
This one's about them chickens in the sky.
Enjoy the last look at SK here. And I'll see you later.
are my banquet, puddles are my wine. A revel in the present, each moment a lifetime.